Okay, this is a little bit longer page, and we'll talk about some of the things on this page that we've done, but this is a longer page. Okay, now let's look at another page that's a little bit shorter. Okay, here's another page. This one's to get people to sign up for a training program. You can see it's much shorter than the other one. Depending on your computer, it almost all fits on the screen. Again, you can see my call to action here with the red button to get people to sign up. It's going to be very similar if you're going to be selling a product. What you want to do is you want to have it right up there, and you want to make it as easy for them to order as possible. You get it right up front. So like I can see, focused, finally focused objective. What do I want to get people to do? Okay, on this one I've embedded a video. So you can do videos and things, but it's best if you can to keep it short. Keep it very short. If you can make the sale and keep it short, that's what you're going to do. Everything on this page needs to be tightly focused. Okay, so that's what a landing page is. Now let me pull that off, and let's just kind of go through a couple more screens, and then we'll go back to those examples and point out different things as we go through some of our suggestions for building a good landing page. Okay, so I've got to share with you today 6 different suggestions. And there are a lot more, and there are differing opinions about what works and what doesn't, but I'm going to give you 6 what I think are good suggestions. Okay, the first suggestion is keep the call to action above the fold. Okay, now what's a fold? Okay, let's go back to our example here. The fold is what shows, okay? So if I'm saying a fold here, you can see the fold is going to be, depending on the resolution of your screen, it's going to vary from screen to screen, but it's going to be across the bottom here, okay? So you want to build to the lowest common denominator. What is the screen that people are going to be viewing your landing page with, and make sure that your call to action is above that fold line, okay? If it's 640 by 480, then you better make sure that your call to action is above the 480 pixels. If it's 1024 by 768, which is what we usually recommend, that means that you need to have your call to action above the 768 pixels down the page, okay? So it's going to show up on their page in front of their face the very first time. It's going to be right there, bam, right in front of them, okay? That is critically important, in my opinion, is to have your call to action right up there and right in front of them. Now, to take this one step further, okay, what if they do scroll down the page? And you can see this is in the shorter page, we've got it above the fold. Now let's go look at our longer page. How do we handle that? Okay, you still want to keep that call to action pretty much right in front of them. So on this page, what we've done, if we look at it again, let me grab my highlighter. Okay, let's say our fold is down here at the bottom, so we've got our call to action up here at the top. Okay, now if they scroll down the page, it's going to go off the page and they're going to lose it. So if I go down the page, okay, yep, it's gone. But what I do is I put it in there again. So if you've got a long page, one of the things that I think is effective is to make sure that your call to action is repeated again and again throughout the document, so that they're not going to go far without finding the call to action. It's always, always easy to get back to it. It's very prominent. It stands out. And if you're using the longer page philosophy, you've got multiple calls to action, okay? But you always make sure that your call to action is above the fold line. Okay, let me pull that off, and let's go to our next suggestion. Suggestion number 2. We recommend not having too much copy. Let's not get this too carried away with too much copy, okay? Let's keep it short. Now, depending on what you're selling or what you're trying to get them to do, you've got to provide complete information. So how much copy you're going to put on there is going to be determined by what is necessary to get them to buy or to get them to sign up. but provide the complete information. But remember that magnifying glass, tightly focused, tightly focused. We don't want anything in there that is not focused on what the objective is, not focused on what we want to get them to do. So you got to get the facts and only the facts. Or in marketing, instead of facts, we would say you got to get the benefits and nothing but the benefits. Okay, whatever it takes to get them to take that action, that's what it's got to be on there, and nothing else. Keep it short if you can, and keep it as short as you can. Now there is a drawback to this. Google and I think some of the other search engines out there have kind of knocked landing pages down because they don't put too much copy on there. So there's some trade-offs that you're gonna need to play with. If you're driving traffic to your landing page, okay, and that's the way you're going to get traffic to it is through the search engines, through SEO, then you've got another problem, okay? Now, there's a way around that, and what you do is you can create your landing page at the top, and then you go down at the bottom below it, and you can put in a blog, or you can put the other information way down there below so that the search engine does see all of that information, but the real meat of everything, the landing page part of it, is really at the top where the customers can get to it, and they may not have to scroll down and read through all that other stuff. Now, there are trade-offs to that. You have to decide what's going to work for you, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second, okay? So, suggestion number 3. Your form, whatever it is, like if you noticed on these other ones, should be on the top of the page and the right. You know, people are animals of habit, I guess you could say, and we get used to certain things. And so if something different comes along, we either leave, we don't do it, or, you know, it takes us a while to get used to it. So one of the things that's pretty typical and pretty normal out there on the internet with landing pages and other things is that the call to action, the form, is always at the top of the page on the right-hand side. And so if people, you know, may not even know it, but they're sort of used to that place of where it is. And so if you follow that by putting yours at the right-hand side of the page at the top, you're not going to make people learn something new. They're going to be used to that. That's something that's they're going to expect. It's going to feel right to them. And so we recommend always putting your form at the top right-hand side of the page. Okay. Now there are exceptions to every rule, and you can come up with something. And like I said, you know, different strokes for different folks. Different people try different things on landing pages. So really, you've got to do what works for you. But we find in most cases the top right-hand side of the page is the very best. Okay, suggestion number 4, no navigation. And this one is sort of questionable, okay? And that's why I've got an exclamation point and a question mark and an exclamation point, because, again, we find some controversy. But typically, when you're keeping things simple, if you can get rid of any navigation, I mean, there's only one thing to do, okay? And that is sign up or give your emailing list or buy. So there's only one option. We're not giving people a whole lot of choices, okay? Now, the one thing that you do need to think about is you can eliminate all of the links on your page, so there's no navigation, and so the only thing to do is to click your sign up or click your buy button. The only problem that you have is there's always another option on that page that we've got to remember, and that's the back button, okay, that's on the browser. If you're not providing enough information and you're not keeping them there, they can always click that back button, and we don't want them to do that. So you need to either make sure that you've got all the information that's there and you're going to close the sale and you're going to get them to sign up or buy or whatever. But if you run into a case where you can't squeeze it all in, or you may need some other information on there, you can put navigation in. But again, we've got to remember the previous suggestion, which is to keep it simple, keep it short. So even if you do put navigation on there, you're not going to offer people much. Okay, let's take a look at the 2 that we've done. Okay, so if we go back to this example, you can see I've got a longer page, and with this one, I have put some other navigation things on here, but I've kept them very, very simple. On a regular web page, I would probably have quite a bit of navigation, so they could go anywhere on the website. Typically, you're going to put your navigation down the left-hand side of the page, and you're going to put the navigation across the top up here. You can see on this page, I do not have any navigation there, okay? But I'm providing some other links and some other navigation on some simple things that can hopefully eliminate or catch people before they click the back button if they do need more information, okay? One important one is right here under my button. You can see that I've got a privacy policy. So if someone's concerned about, well, geez, I'm giving my email address, what are they going to do with it? I've provided a link to a privacy policy that will tell them what I'm going to do with it, okay? Now, I've also got another button here that they can click on if they want to see more examples of websites that we've built. I've got another link down here that they can actually watch a video, and they can click on that, okay? Now, so I do provide other pieces of navigation to give them a little bit more information if they need it, okay? Now, let me go back to my cursor, or my regular drawing mode, okay? Now, let's click on one of these and see what happens, okay? If I click on the more websites, it pops up, and they can go through examples of websites that my company has built, okay? And I can give them there. But notice what I have done, okay? I haven't taken them away from the current website, okay? It's still kind of, as you can see, it's still kind of there in the background. And as soon as I exit out of this, I am right back there, okay? So they are not getting away when they click on those. The video is the same way. When I click on the video, it's going to pop up in another window on the front of it. And when I close that window, I'm right back here. I'm still in the same spot. I've still got that call to action right in front of me, so it is easy to click on, okay?